A point of intersection, or PI. It's a fancy way of referring to an angle point in a parcel line. At times you will need to add or remove these angle points to make adjustments to your lot layout, specifically to add or remove bends in a lot line. So let's see how that's done. We're going to focus in on this area again, where in the previous video we changed this lot so that it had an area of 5 acres or more. Maybe we've got some feedback and whoever we're doing this work for doesn't really want to give up this cul-de-sac lot because it's seen as a high value lot. So can we maybe configure it a different way so that we can preserve this lot and maybe carve out some acreage elsewhere? So to get started, I'm going to make a couple of edits that are consistent with what we covered in the previous video, and then we'll get to the part where we add a PI. I'll start by just simply extending this lot line back to this one by using the intersection object snap. I'll just find the intersection of this line itself and the back lot line. That returns the cul-de-sac lot, which is part of our goal here. The other part of our goal is to get this acreage up to 5 acres, and as you can see right now, it's only at 4.55. So what if we took this lot and added it here? Well, that's easy enough to do as well. We can just grip edit, use my O snaps, and snap to the endpoint of this line. And I'm hoping that gets me what I need. It's just not quite there, 4.91 acres. Well, I'm looking at the layout and I'm thinking, what if we cut across this corner? Does this lot really need to have this right angle in the back? Probably not. Maybe this little triangle of acreage will be enough to bump this up to 5 acres. So again, I'll make a grip edit, snap this to the endpoint over here. And now I want to simply bend this lot line right here and bring it over this way. But I notice when I click the lot line, there's no vertex here, so I can't really bend it at that location. That's the case where adding a PI comes in very handy, where you need to make a bend in the lot line. It's not something you'll do a ton, but when you need it, it really does come in handy. So how do we do this? Well, there's kind of two ways. There's what I'll call the old way, which is to bring up the parcel layout tools. And in this toolbar, you'll find the insert PI. And while we're here, we also have the delete PI and break apart PI. This is kind of like a break command where we provide a distance and it will split the PI apart and put a gap there so maybe we can add another segment. Delete PI will just simply remove the point and insert will add one. So we can use that. Another, I think, simpler and more direct way, I'll hit escape a few times to clear my selection so you can actually see this happen on the ribbon. If I click the parcel line, you'll notice one of the commands up here in the ribbon is insert PI, and right next to it is delete PI. I find that these tools are a little more effective and I have more success with them, so I tend to use them instead. And as an aside, you'll notice if you're familiar with other parts of Civil 3D that you may have seen these commands before when working with feature lines. It turns out that parcel lines and feature lines are very close relatives and they have a lot of the same behaviors and capabilities, and as a result, the same editing commands can be used on them. That's why you may recognize these tools as being used before for editing feature lines. So I'll go ahead and insert the PI. I'll just click the tool here. And we get this cool graphic that shows us where the PI is going to be created. So I'm just going to once again use my object snaps and snap to this endpoint. It's going to prompt me for an elevation for this point. I'll just go ahead and hit enter to accept the defaults, hit enter a few more times to finish and exit the command. And now I've got my extra PI or point of intersection at that location. Now I can simply grip edit across. Again, snapping to the endpoint, and my acreage is now 4.98. I'm very close, but I'm not quite there. Maybe I can carve out a little bit more acreage from this lot here. Now I'm at 5.01. I'll slide it back over just a little bit more. And now I'm right at 5 acres. So these are some examples of the types of editing that you do when working on these residential projects to try to get a little acreage over here and take a little bit away over here. And these editing tools are very handy, and knowing how all of them work and being able to combine them in different configurations to get the result you want, these are very good skills to know. So there you have it. That's how you can add and delete PIs in cases where you need to add or remove a bend in a parcel line.